Hey there, welcome back to another topic in our playlist for mastering AI tools. Now, we have been talking about Playwright and how we can use that with MCP and the AI GitHub Copilot to generate tests, to debug them, or to run them, and also fix all the failures without writing a single piece of code. Now let's take it a little further. Let's try to use some of the other features of Playwright, which help us to generate or even record our interactions and then convert it into test scripts. And this is where the code gen feature comes in. So it is basically the code generator for Playwright. So you can either record your interactions and generate, or you can directly use the code gen to generate the scripts while you are interacting with your applications. But why CodeGen alone isn't enough? This is because CodeGen records everything, even whatever you don't require. And that is where your test starts breaking on the second run. And then we are left with debugging the tests and all the tangled logic which the CodeGen has generated. So CodeGen is fast. It can generate the scripts, but it is not smart. So you don't want more messy logic or brittle selectors in your tests, which will increase your maintenance and your overall time you spent on building the scripts. So that is where the AI GitHub Copilot comes in. It will refactor your script in real time, which means it will look at the code which is generated, it will restructure your flow, and then it will also replace your brittle selectors with role-based selectors. It will extract all the reusable methods. It will convert it into page object model. So it will do everything which you want from a particular script, which is production ready. So CodeGen, it can generate code for you, but it's not production ready code. And for that, you require the AI GitHub Copilot so that it can clean up all the mess which is not required. So let's look at a real world scenario like booking a flight. So we'll be booking a flight, which will be a one-way flight. And then we will use the code gen to record this complete flow. The Copilot will refactor the code, and then we will validate it like a pro so that we can run the script to test our flight scenario. So coming back to our Playwright, here we'll go to the terminal, and here we are going to say npx playwright codegen. This is the command to start the code generator. And then we'll also pass the application URL. It's not mandatory, but it's good to have. So once you hit enter, it is going to open up two different windows. One where you can see your Playwright script, as you can see, and one is the browser itself with the URL which we have given, right? So it directly goes into that particular URL. So now you can either record your interactions and then the Playwright inspector will start generating the script for you, or you can directly interact with your application like a normal user, right? So if I go here, I first need to accept this cookies. So I'm going to click on this. Once I click on this, you will see on the right-hand side, the CodeGen has already generated the code for this, okay? Now I want to go into flights, and then I will select the one-way flight. So now I will enter something from where I want to fly. So I will say London, and I will select a particular airport here. Then here again, I will select a city, something like Paris maybe. And then I select that. I will leave the travel date as today. The number of travels is 1, so that's fine. And then I will click on search. Now it's going to return me a list of different flights, and I'm going to validate whether this flight is the one which I'm looking for, right? How I can do that, you can put assertions during your code generation as well using this code gen. So either you can assert a text, you can assert a value, you can assert a complete snapshot. Okay. You can even assert the visibility of a particular element, and then you can even pick a locator for your elements, right? So there is a lot you can do, but for now we'll just do some assertions here. So for example, I will try to assert this is the flight which I'm looking for. So this is the code for that particular airport, LHR. And then I will also try to validate this particular text here. And then I will click on view details. Okay, and then it will show me the details here. So here also I will try to validate something. So flight to Paris maybe. And then I'll click on continue. Okay, so we can go ahead with this flow, but I will stop here. We'll try to work with this particular code which we have generated. So now if we go into the Playwright Inspector on the right-hand side, you will see there are lots of different options, almost the same options as we see on the toolbar on the left-hand side. But there is an option to copy this complete code here. Okay, so I will copy this, and then I will go ahead and close this. I will go to my tests, and here I will create a new test called booking.spec.ts. And inside this, I'm going to paste this whole code. Okay. So this is the code generated by the Codegen while we are interacting with the application. Now, if you try to run this, it might run partially, or it might fail, or it might run on the second attempt, right? So it's not the perfect code which you want for your framework or for your application. So what we'll do is we are going to use the GitHub Copilot to help us refactor this complete code. Okay. So what we are going to say is we are going to add this test as context, and then we are going to say fix. So it is going to fix this particular test file. I'm going to send this. Okay, so as you can see, it can identify several issues that needs to be fixed. Okay, so proper test description, test structure, proper weights, error handling, remove the hard-coded call, uh, add proper weights for page loads and dynamic content, make selectors more robust, proper assertions, and error handling. Okay, so you can compare the code. Okay, so on the left-hand side is the code which is generated by the Codegen, and on the right-hand side, you see the code which has been completely refactored and restructured by the AI. So it's much cleaner, it's much more efficient, and it's much more stable. Okay, so what I can do, I can completely replace the test here and keep this. So now we can see this is the complete code. And we can refactor this further using the AI GitHub Copilot. And after a few iterations, there might be few other things to fix on this, but we can also run this and validate whether everything is working fine. But as you can see, the difference between the Codegen script and the refactor code using the AI agent. So there is a huge difference. So to conclude, Codegen is a great tool. It can be used to generate your code while you are interacting with your application, but it should be used in conjunction with an AI tool like the GitHub Copilot in order to refactor it and to make it more efficient and production ready. So that's all for this particular video. So you just watched the raw Codegen turn into resilient automation with GitHub Copilot. So what do you think about this particular video? Let me know in the comments. If you're serious about mastering AI tools with automation, hit the subscribe button, because in the next chapter, we are going to deep dive into more AI tools and related topics.